Hello and welcome back to part 5 of how to create a Facebook clone using TAILWIND CSS and some little JavaScript. If you're watching this for the first time, I would recommend you to watch part 1 to part 4 of this tutorial. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. That way you can be able to get to the first video, second video, third video, and the fourth video, and so that way you can now be able to come to this video so that you can be able to easily follow along. But if you have watched all those, then I would welcome you to this as we continue creating this beautiful Facebook clone using TAILWIND CSS and some little JavaScript. And because we have a lot to cover, let's get started with this, shall we? That's what we want to do right now, and then we'll just be duplicating that and just changing the content inside here so that we have this one and also this sort of a thing. So let's just head on there and be able to see how we can be able to achieve that. So we are back on our text editor, and we want to first of all get that specific parent div. So it is this one for adding our post. So we want to get that so that the content that we're about to add, we should now be able to add it below that. So our div now that should house the already posted post should appear here. So maybe we can also come and add a comment here and talk of posted post. What's that? Yeah, something like that. Hope it makes sense. So we can talk of stats here. Yeah, so something like that, and maybe we can duplicate these and talk of ads here. So ads, sorry. So for the posted posts, this is how we are going to have this. So first of all, of course, it's to start with a div. This is the div that will house the whole post. And so just to have that clear picture of what we have there, I'm just going to add a few classes even before we add any content there. So I'm going to talk about class, and I'm going to just give it a BG of white, and also I also need it to be rounded MD, and I also want it to be or have a padding of 4 all around. Let me just try to fix that. And so now, just to also have that clear picture, now that we have added some few classes, we need to add some little content so that now we can be able to see that specific div very well. So I'll add another div inside that, and this is the div that is just going to house the profile picture and the name of the owner of the person who have added that post. Yes, so inside here we're just going to have an image. So this will be the profile picture, and so the source will just be images, and here, sorry, and here we need to get the profile. Yeah, so something like that, and just below that we'll create another div. This is the div now that will house the name of this specific user here, and for the username we are going to have it within a h3. So the user is John. So just below that we need to also have yet another div. So it is within this div that you'll be able to know, or the content of this div will tell us when the post was posted, like 2 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, 3 days ago, something like that. So I'm just going to talk about 2 minutes, something like that. And again, now just below that we also need to have some SVG icons. Let me just show you what we are creating here so that you have the idea. So it is this one here. So we've just created the profile, a div for the profile image, a div for the name, a div for the time when the post was posted, all the time that has passed, and then we also have the SVG icon. That's what we are creating here as the last div. So this will just be an SVG, and let me just get that SVG maybe right now before anything else. So this one is world. Yes, we have it here. I'm just going to grab that and have it here. Yeah, so something like that. So if we refresh now, we should now be able to see something. Yeah, so this is what we have now. We just need to add a few classes so that now we can have this one looking like what we have here. So very quick, let's try to fix that. First of all, so we start with the first div here that is housing the image or the profile picture and the rest of the content. So we just have that flexing first. So that is flex, and after flexing we should also add a space right and left of 2, and that's it for that. So now we can style our image of profile picture. So we add a class, and first of all we want this image to be a circle, so we'll talk of rounded full, and we'll also give it a width of 10 and a height of 10, that way to be the same size, and that's the image. Now the next thing that we also need to style is this div that is housing the name of the user, the time, and also the SVG icon. So as usual we're going to have the items flexing, so they should first of all flex, and they should flex in a column. So flex col, and that's it. Now we need to style the username, so we're just going to have it with some gray color, so gray 500, and also the font should be semi-bold, and the text should be small. That's it for that. Now for the one for the duration, for these two again, because we will need them to flex in a row, we also need to have them within yet another container. So I'm going to create another div within which I'm now going to have the div for the duration and the div for the SVG icon. So something like that. Let me just try to fix this a little. So there, and also this one should be somewhere there. Yeah, so that way now we can have these two containers here appearing in a row. So that way I can be able to have them flex, and also adding a space of 2, and also the padding should also be 2, that is padding left and right. We also want them to be aligned at the center, so I'm just going to talk about justify center and item center. That way everything will be at the very center. Okay, so we can now style the duration. So add a class and talk about the color of the text. That should be blue, 500, and the text should be small. Okay, so now we are done with that. Let's see the size of the SVG. Maybe we can change that to a smaller size, from 6 to 4. That's it there. So let's try and see how that looks like so far. Yeah, and that's what we have there, as we would expect. Now you can see now we have achieved that. Now we need to add the content here, and also these engagements, and also this as well, and also this part below here. So just below the SVG, we're going to count at least 4 divs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So down here, it's where we are going to have the post. So maybe we can even have a comment there and say here goes the comment, and now as usual we are just going to have a div lapped within, the comment lapped within a div, and we're going to have it in a paragraph. And so we can just have something like this. Well, so something like that. That's our comment there. And just below that, now we're going to have the engagements. So I'm even going to have a comment again and talk about engagements. And for the engagement, again, we are going to lap them within another div. And so now between that, we're also going to have yet another div. So the first thing that we need to have is the SVGs. So we're going to have some icons again lapped within another div. So in fact, I can just talk of SVG, and before we even have that, we can also create another div, because we want to have the SVGs and also the lines count. So I'm going to have something like that, and I'll also duplicate this. Let me just show you what I mean here. So I'll have that, and now this one will be the maybe what we can call likes count. So it is something like this. So we want to have the SVGs, maybe a name of one of the people who have reacted to this post, and also the likes count here. So that's what we are just adding here. And we also want to see the comments count, this one here. So we're also going to have outside these two, we'll have another div. So I'm having them separated this way so that I can be able to style them the way I want. Maybe here I can talk of comments count. So something like that. So we just now have a sketch of what we intend to achieve. So something like this. So we are now just going to style this so that now we have it looking like this. But just before that, we can also maybe create these ones here so that we can style them together. So just below here, first of all, I'm just going to have a line. So I'm going to talk about HR. And now just below that line, we are going now to have the containers that is going to house those specific components there. So a div, and now and now within this div we're going to have 3 more divs. So we're going to have the one for the, so let me just label them as 1, 2, 3 first. So something like that. Yeah, so that one now is for these ones, the like, the comments, and the share. And now we can try to first of all style that before we overwhelm ourselves with a lot of HTML stuff here to style. So first of all, I'm going to have this with a margin top of 2, so that is empty 2. And for the color within this div should be glare 500. That's it with that. For the comment, we're just going to leave it like that, so that way now we can head on to the engagements. And for the engagements now, these are the utility classes that we're going to add to style that. So the very first thing that we need to do is to make them to flex, and for the margin top we're going to add 4. We also want some space right and left of 4, or rather 2, and also let's have them justified between. So now that's what we have over there. The text now appears in glare. Now the next thing that we also now need to style is now these SVGs, icons, and the likes count and the comments. So for the very parent div that is housing all of those, these are the utility classes that we're going to add to style that. So it should be very simple. First of all, let's make them to flex, and also add a space between them of at least 2, or rather, let me just see if, because we just need to make these 2 to have a space. Let me just try and see if that will work for us. So class and flex in the space there. Remember now, because of these justify between that we've added, it should make these 2 to space out. Let me just see. I hope that one might not work for us. Okay, yes, we have it there, but now this one, the comment count, we need it to be on the very end here. Okay, let's see. Yes, oh yeah, this one justify between, let's just have it here. And okay, that one still won't go to the very end, because even if we come and add a class here of justify end, okay, that one still not working for us. Oh, sorry, this one we should have it outside. Sorry, we should not be within this specific div. Sorry. Okay, so this one should be outside here, so that we have that there. This one here. Okay, so I had even removed these ones just to try and fix that. Let me try to refresh now and see. Yeah, so we have it there. That's good. So it's because we had this one inside this specific div, which should not be the case, and that's why this one was not working. Yeah, because we had this one all up within here. So that one should be there. Let's try and see if we can add some space here of maybe 2. I'm unable to get a space in between these 2. Why is that the case? This one should be here. Why is it not? Could someone maybe in the comments down there help me if you have an idea of how we can be able to fix this here, because even in my original project I was unable to achieve this space between these 2. Yeah, so this SpaceX not working. Oh yes, we have it there. Yeah, so that's how we should be able to fix that. I don't know why it was not working, but now we have it working, so that's good. So now we can be able to replace that with the real stuff. So here I'm just going to have the emoji SVG, or the like. Let me just have the like. So that is right. I can just pick it there, and we can just have it here. We'll be styling that maybe later. So, or we can just have it right now. Yeah, so that we can finish with it once and for all. So maybe the size we can change it to 4, and also 4 here. And also for the color, I'm going to talk about text, maybe blue, maybe 600. Yeah, so that's it with SVG. So for the like count, we can just talk of 200. Yeah, so we can just have it like that. And what is the next thing that we also need to do there? We also need to style these ones. For the color, let me just give them some color. That is the whole of this div. Anything that is inside there, we can talk of text glare 500. Good. So I think that's it. So for the comments count, maybe you can just talk of maybe 1.1, maybe 500 comments. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, so I think that's it with that part. Let's refresh and see what we got. So refresh that. That's what we have. Oops, we need to fix this. This should be flexing like what we have here. Let me see. These two, where is that? Two there. Oh, sorry. Let's just talk of justify between items center. Yeah, something like that. Let's see if that fixes that. Not yet. Why is that the case? Yeah, we have it fixed. But the space is too big. Maybe we can reduce that to 2. Yeah, let's just reduce that to 2. Maybe just to the social distance is too wide there. Okay, that's still not fixed. Where did we change that? Yeah, that's better, I think. Yeah, so we can just have it like that. So let's just now fix these ones, the like, the comments, and the share. So in fact, we're just going to grab this SVG because we need to have the like. So copy that, and I'm just going to replace that with the number 1 here. So something like that. So here we just need to have the comments. Do we have any text? Maybe we can also include some text. Let me just see if we have the text. Yes, we have the text. So in fact, now if we have the text, it therefore means that we also need to have yet another div that will house the SVG, or both the SVG and the text. So we're going to have the SVG appearing there, and below it the text, that is the like. So something like that. And so now this is now what will be reflected. Just a minute. Oh sorry, we need to have these two. That's what I intended to have, those two divs being lapped within the main div, so that now we can style this div to make them appear in a row. Yeah, so we need to achieve, well, that's what I needed to have there. So this is the parent div that is housing this div and this div. That way now we can style this div, and the classes will affect these two divs that we have here. So now we need a repetition of that in the other, so I'm just going to copy that, and now instead of 2 I'm going to have that there, and also now here instead of 3 I'm going to have that there. Yeah, so something like that. So if we refresh that, maybe first of all, just to give you a picture of what we've created there. Yeah, so now that's what we have. So now we need to have them flexing in a row, and also some spaces between them. So we're going to go to the parent div, so that is here. And so now we'll add the following classes. So class, and the first thing is just to make them flex, justify between. Yeah, that's it. If we refresh that now, that should have taken some good shape. Yeah, so that is taking some very nice shape. We also need them now to flex in a row, because right now they are in a column, and we also need to add a margin top, so empty of maybe 4. And now for the parent divs here, for the SVG and the icons, remember we need them to flex in a row. Have I added too much of these divs here? Yeah, I think we have too much of them. Yeah, because we just need this one. That way we can make these two to flex. Yeah, so let me see, cross and flex. Let's just test with that one if that works. That should work. Yes, it's working. So we don't need this one. I had this one in excess, so we need to get rid of this one and this one here. So it should be something like that. So we also need them to do what? To justify center. That's for them to be aligned at the center, and also items center. Yeah, so in fact this is what we are going to have duplicated in all the rest. So I'm just going to grab this one, copy it, and I'm going to have it replacing this one. And also replacing this one. Yeah, so we should achieve something like that. So we just need to change this a little bit. That is, we need to have a space, so space x of 2, so that one should appear in all of them. So space x of 2, yeah, so that should change that. So The other thing that we can also now do is to change the SVG icon. So for the second one, it will be for the message or comments, sorry, yeah, and then the share. So we start with the message here, so message, and we have it here. So we'll just replace this. Oops. Okay, we need to fix that. So this one now will be comments. So comments, and the last one should be share. Well, we have that. So let's see, share, we have it here. Just replace this. Sorry. Yeah, and that's what we have over there. What the size of this SVG is? Okay, this one is a little bit small. So the like, let's just change the like, maybe it should be 6. The default size, we had changed that. Let me just increase it to 6. So 6. So far so good. So well, I can now just come and change a few things here. So the first one will be like, the other one is comments, this one will be share. Just change that to share. And one of the other things that I also need to do is to change the color. I think it's a bit more dark. If you check out that here, just try to reduce this to a bit light gray. So I'm just going to come to the SVG icon and I'll talk of text gray. Let me see, 500. Yeah, and that's better. So the same should be applied to the text as well. So I'm just going to get back to the Visual Studio here, and I think the quickest way to be able to achieve the color that we want for all the text is to go to the parent div here. So like I can just come and talk of text glare in the parent div, that is text glare 500. So now that means anything that is within this div should be able to inherit this specific class. So that way we are going to have all the text being gray 500. Yeah, so there you go. We now have achieved something like that, which is what we would expect. So so far so good. I think to me it looks fine. So it's the high time now that we can move on to the next thing, but just before then we can just try to create some space between the line and the text on top of it. So here in the hash line I can come and add a class, and I can just add a margin top of, let's say, 4, and that's enough to help us to create that space there. And talking about the line, we also need another line down here, because line now we are going to the comments section. So we want just to like have a section here. You can be, or person can be able to view some comments. So what I'm just going to do here is just below here I'm now going to have the comments, and in fact what I can do is I can just come and talk of comments. So I'm just going to have a comment and say comments, goes here. And now I'm just going to come and have my line down there, and just so that you have a picture of what I'm doing down there, let me just refresh this so that we can move together. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. You can now see we have been able to create this margin top, so now we have a space between the line and the content of these two stuff here. And now we've also created another line down here. It also has the margin top. As you can see, there's a space between the line and the content on top. Now we want to have the comments down there, just like what we have over here. So this is what we want to just create right now. So very quickly, I'm just going to get back to Visual Studio, and just now below the line, I'm just going to create a div. So this is the main div now that will house the comments. So I'll have one more div that is now going to, of course, house the view previous comments. So inside here, we're just going to have, so just below that again, we're going to have another div. So this is now the shout div that is going to house the comments now. So just inside that, we're going to have two other divs again. So for this div that we've just created here, it is the one that is going to house the image. Let me just show you that. It's one that is going to house this image and the comment itself. And of course, now we're just going to duplicate that if we want to have several comments. So the div that we've just created is this, that is going to house this and this, and so that now we can have them flexing in a low. We need to have them again lapped within a div. That way now we can have them flexing in a low. So inside now here, I'm just going to have an image. So this will be the profile image for the person commenting. And so here I'm going to have this coming from the images, and this will be the image I've called team_2. So that one there. So we'll be styling that in a minute, but just below that now we want to have the comment itself, and the comment itself we're going to have it in a paragraph. So I'm just going to talk of a p tag, and within that I'm also going to have a span. So this is now the one that is going to house the name. So here maybe we can have the name, and just below that we're also going to have yet another one. So this now the comment itself. The first one was the user who is writing the comment, and now this is the comment. Okay, so that's it over there. So that is the comment itself, and that's how that should look like. And I think now it's the high time that we can style this so that we are able to see now how it looks like. But first of all, let's just have a preview of how the HTML looks like before we add any TAILWIND utility classes. So this is how it looks like. Now we want to style this so that now it can look like what we have here. So let's just do that right now. So I'm just going to start from the very top here where we are having the view previous comments, and I'm going to start with the parent div here, and these are the utility classes that we're going to add to style this. So the first thing that we want to do is to make the items in this parent div to flex, and they are going to flex in a column. So I'm also going to go and the flex call, so that will make the items to span in a column. And that's it for that. Now the next thing is styling this, the view previous comments, and for this one we just need to add some font styles. So for instance, we want to have it being gray 500, and we also want this the font to be semi-bold, and also the text to be small, and also the margin top to be 2. Okay, so that's it with the text. So we've just styled that over there. So now the next thing is to style the div, that is the child div that is housing the comments. The first thing that we're going to do here is we want the items in this div to flex in a column. So I'm going to add the utility class flex call. Oh, sorry. And also I need to have again a margin top again of 2. And that's it with that over there. So I'm now going to go to the next one, this one, the other div that we have here. And so in this we just want to we just need to have these items. In fact, we can just add that one here because it's all about the space, because now here we are saying that the items should appear in a column manner, but now we still need some spaces between them. So we are now talking of space Y of 4. Yeah, and this is top and bottom because they are appearing in a column. So for that we can just leave this for now. We can go back to it if we just need to add a few classes to it, just to help us style the comments section. So for this one, we want the items here now to flex in a low. So I'm just going to talk of flex. This way now it will make the image and the text to appear in a row, and also I'm going to add some space right and left of 4. Let's see what we have so far so that I don't have to do a lot of explanation. The content should show what we are doing. Yeah, so now we have something like that, as you can see. So we are having the items first of all appearing in a column, so like this one and this content here, they are in a column, but now the image and the text, they are appearing in a row, and that's what we wanted to achieve over there. So we also need some space between these two. So if I refresh again, I think we should not be able to get the space because I've already added a space X of 4. So you can be able to see that space there, which is what we expect. It's because of this utility class that we have added here. So now you can see the image looks a bit big, so we need to be able to style it so that it looks something like this. So it's very easy. We just need to add a few utility classes that includes the width, the height, and also the loaded. So we'll talk of class, and this one will be a width of 8. So width of 8 and height of 8, and also make it loaded full. That way it will be a perfect circle. Sorry. Okay, so we've been able to achieve that, and let's see that class in action over here. Yes, so we have the image now looking a little bit small, but the loaded class is not still applied. Let's refresh again and see that. Yeah, now that looks good. but why is it that big? Oh, sorry, we need to have an 8 here as well. Yeah, that's why you can see it's not a perfect circle because of the height, sorry, the width, which was not applied perfectly. So I'm refreshing that once again, because when we need to have a perfect circle, yes, like that, that's what we need over there. So that is looking so fine there. So we now need to have this background and also make these to appear in a column. So right now they are in a row. So to be able to achieve that now, we're just going to go to the paragraph tag here. This is where we are going to add a few classes, and because we want it to appear in a column, we're going to talk of flex call. That way they will be aligned in a column, and also the space between them, so the space y of, let me just talk of 1, and also for the text, let's talk of gray 500, and we also want to add a background color for this whole paragraph tag here. So I'm just going to talk of BG gray, and this one will be 100, plus also a padding top and bottom, so that one will be 2, and we should also have it loaded LG. So far so good, so that one now should be good to go. So if we refresh that now we should be able to achieve that, and there you go. So we have that looking so fine, so good. So we still also need to add a few classes now to the text. You can see the text appears too close to the edge. We need to have a space there. So I'm just going to go to the P again, to the paragraph tag here, and other than also having the PY, I'm also going to have PX of 2, and that way now we are going to have a space between the margin and where the text starts. For the name, we need to make it a little bit unique, and we need to make it stand out a little bit, and so for that we are going to add the utility class of font semi bold. Rather, we just want to make it bold, so that should be fine over there. Yeah, so we have the space there, and of course now we have that appearing there, which is what we expect to see there. Remember, this one will span as you continue adding more comments. Maybe for instance we can just maybe add some stuff here. Yeah, that way it looks a little bit more real. Yeah, so far so good, that looks good. So now we can also be able to add maybe a second one, so under that, so I'm just going to duplicate that, and what we're just going to do is to add a margin so that it moves a little bit to the right. So I'm just going to come and crop this, rather this one. So this is the whole comment, and I'm just going to duplicate that. And if we review that, we're just going to see that we're just going to have this one, a duplicate of this one just below that, like that. But now we can just make it move to the left, or rather to the right a little bit. So I can just talk of ML, that is margin light, of let's say 4. Yes, and we're going to have that over there. So now the next thing that we need to also able to do is to have a space in between the two, and maybe I can just talk of empty again for that is margin top. That should fix that. So that should have that fixed. So maybe we can just change the image and the text. I can also change the image here. Maybe I can talk of a profile. Yes, so that one looks good. So that's what we expect to have there. So it's something like what we have here. So last, now we need to have now a space for writing a comment here, so something like this. So let's try to have that. That one now should appear below. So back to Visual Studio, and here we are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So just below here now we are going to have this section where a person can write a comment. So we can even comment that out and say write your comment. So a few containers that will house that section for the comments. So it's something similar to what you've been doing. So that will be the parent div, and of course now inside that we're going to have now the content, and also the content should be lapped within some few divs. So the first one here will be for the profile image, and we're now going to have another one more for the input or where a person can type the comment. So we'll duplicate that. So for the first one here we're going to have the image. So this one will be the profile, and that's it. And then now in the second div here we're going to have the input. So I'm just going to have the input tag here. That will be of type of text, and of course we're going to have what we call the placeholder. So placeholder, and that one will be write a comment. And that's it. So we just now need to style that. Let's just look at the low HTML, how it looks like before we style it. Okay, that's how it looks like. Now we need to style it so that we have something similar to what we have here. So just going to do what I'm just going to come and start from on top here. From here we have write a comment. So items should first of all flex in a low, and we should have some spaces in between them, so space 2x. We should also have the items in these divs being at the center, plus also margin top of 4. That's the parent div. For the div that is housing the image, we're going to have it with relative. This because we'll be adding the online indicator, which will be on top of the image, so that way it's very recommended because of the positioning of the online indicator, that we should have the class of relative, and it should be inline block. Okay, let's now go to the image, style the image. So the first thing with the image is the height and the width, which should be 3. To make it a circle, as usual, we'll have it rounded full, plus also, yeah, that's it. In fact, sorry, this one should be 8. 3 is too small. Yeah, so something like that. So the width and the height, that's fine. Now we need to also have the online indicator, so that is this green circle that you can see there. So we need to have it somewhere here. So let's just go back here, and what we're just going to do is just below the image we're going to have a span, and it is this span that you're going to add a few utility classes to make it look like an online indicator. So this is how we are going to create the online indicator. So we'll add the following utility classes. So the first thing is, because the image is relative, we need to make this absolute. And because it will be a circle, we need to have it with a width and a height. So the width will be 3, and the height will be 3 as well. It will be a circle, so rounded full. For the background, it should be green, 500, and also we'll add a border allowed it, and the border will be of size 2, and it will be white. And because we want the online indicator to appear below the image, we'll talk of bottom 0. And should appear on the light, so again we talk of light 0. That's it over there. So now the last is the input field. So first of all, we should have it fill the whole available space, so a width of full. And that's it with the div that is housing the input field. And so now we can style the input field. So we can come and talk of the background color. So that is BG of gray 100. Should be rounded raj. Should also have a padding left and right of 2. Should occupy the whole screen, so the whole available space rather. So width of full, and we don't want to have that outline when it is clicked, so we'll talk of focus, and here outline none. And that's about it over there. So if we refresh our work now, we should be able to get something that's close or that is next to what we expect. Yes, we have it over there, but I think we need to create some space, maybe padding top and bottom, because a little bit thin. Yeah, let's add a py of 2. Yeah, that looks fine. So you can have your comment here. Good. You can also see the online indicator with the white outline appearing there. So far so good. That's looking fine. Yeah, I think I like what I'm seeing here. If you're liking what you're seeing, kindly like and share the video so that we can share this knowledge with as many people as possible. Okay, so that's the power of Tailwind CSS. So now the next thing that we're going to do is very easy, because this just what we just have below here is the same with what we have here. The only difference is that in this case we have an image, and in this case we just have some text. Yes, so it's something just similar to that, so there's no need of having that, but maybe we can do this one so that we have this background, the gradient background here. Yeah, which will be similar in this case, only that this will just be an image. So let me just duplicate that and just change a few things. So let me see. That one starts from where? Sorry. Yeah, it is started from the very top here. Yeah, from here. So we need to duplicate all of this, highlight all of this, and duplicate it. You see, it's a lot. So we've done a lot of work here, and if you've been following along, I'm very grateful for that. Don't take it for granted if you're watching this part of the video. It means that you're running something. Sorry, let me fix this. I'll be back. So I've just created a duplicate of that there. So we can just change a few things just to make it different from the rest. So maybe we can change that. Maybe this one we can also change it to gray. And this one we can change it to a different name there. We can also, maybe just to make it a little bit unique, change the profile image. And so now all that we need to do is, for this specific div here, I'm just going to change a few things here, because we need the background to be, we need to shift something like this. We need the background to be gradient like this, and also have this content inside there. So that's what we need to achieve here. So we need to go to this specific div here and change a few things. For instance, we need to come and talk about the height. We want it to be a little bit big, so we talk of height of 64. The text, we want it to be a little bit big, so we'll talk of 3XL. we want the text to be at the center, so we'll talk of text center, or rather we can talk of items, not think we have any utility class like text center. It should be items center, and now we can add the bg, so it is a gradient one, so we'll talk of gradient. It should be from bottom to right, so to bottom right. And we also need the middle color, sorry, the first color. So the first color will be blue, 500, and the last color, so 2, should be 400. And we should also not forget about bolding the font, so font bold. And so here we can just check the content. Let me just type it real quick. Yeah, so something like that looks good to us. So sorry, okay, so far so good, that looks fine. And I don't think there's anything else we need to do there. Let me refresh and see what we have there. Okay, so we have something like that. We still need to refresh it one more time. Okay, so looks like there's some few classes that are yet to be applied, because we need this to be white and also centered. So items center. Oh, sorry, I misled you here. We have text center as a utility class. Sorry for that. Should have text center, that's why it is not appearing at the center. And also we should also talk of text white. Sorry, apologies. So we have item center as well as text center to center the text. Okay, so if we refresh that now, we have it that way. Now to make it appear at the middle here, we also need to add one more class, that is justify center. Okay, still not appearing at the center. What could be the issue there? Text center, text white, item center, justify center. Oh, sorry, we forgot to include flex. Yeah, without the flex these ones may not work, the justify and the items center. I hope that is the issue. Yeah, that was the issue, and we are now able to fix it. So we can now have something like that appearing there, and I think to me that looks fine. So that should be it for that middle section, or the feds over there. Hope you've been able to learn something over there. And so now the next thing we'll be creating is this section here, which is now basically just this, which is just very simple. So yeah.